Oh, you didn't know?
Da-na-na-na.
You better call somebody. It is SNL. It is 4th of July. We're both festive. We're both in the red, white, and blue. It is Landry Locker. It is Cody Stutes. We are here with you talking a little bit of Texans. Cody, how have you started off your 4th of July? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to show you. I got the hot dog. Got a little bit left. Got a little ketchup. Got a little musty.
You went mobile with the hot dog?
Mia Poba, throwback Rockets, hashtag Hardwood Classics. Got a little love streak going down.
There you go.
But I'm doing my thing. What do you got going?
I went swimming this morning over at Mama Stoots' house. She had some people over, so I went swimming and then had some hot dogs for lunch and stopped and got me some Miller High Lifes on the way back to the house. Cracked a few of those and got some burgers coming down for dinner. So bacon cheeseburgers. It's going to be good.
Cannonball!
Oh, let me tell you, there's nothing that kids aged 5 to 10 love more than to get the fat guy to jump in the pool and make waves.
Yeah, my daughter's been in the spirit. For some reason, I called my mom today, and you don't know what you're going to get when you call the grandma on FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she feels kind of cheated, and Pops is here, so I feel like she's jealous. Like you kind of got to tiptoe. Like I think the daughter likes Pops, but she got like a 32-minute show and tell. Like with my daughter.
Like, oh, here's this.
It wasn't just an MTV Cribs type of thing. It was literally like if the crib is so good that you get the whole episode. That was what my mom got today. So she got a very good 4th of July gift from the daughter. So she was very pleased with it.
That's good.
So let's get into the hackage that we'll play with the Texans 4th of July celebration and the most explosive things about the Houston Texans. And I have the most explosive things at the end of this. The 5 most explosive things about this Texans team. But Cody has a different angle on this as we hack it out with you here on 4th of July.
Okay, so Landry, which player is going to be the most explosive statistically? Who's going to have the best stats on the Houston Texans when it comes down to what we care about from that position and statistically the counting stats? Who's going to be the most explosive statistically on this Texans team?
It's got to be Nico, right? I mean, is there even a question? It's got to be Nico.
The chance that he could be a very impressive fantasy football performer from a counting stat perspective is very high. In fact, I saw a couple of people predict he could be the top wide receiver in the right scenario. I certainly understand how they could think that, feed it to Nico. It's Christian Kirk and the rookies next to him. Nico's a pretty safe answer, and I think that's probably the best answer here, because even if one of these defenders had an awesome season, it's not going to be as statistically impressive as what Nico could do, which is 1,400 yards if he's healthy all year, and maybe double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah, I would say Nico, and I don't even know who's in competition for him. I would say maybe Mixon. If we're talking about statistics, maybe Mixon.
Tough part is unless Joe does like what Saquon Barkley did last year, it's not going to feel very explosive.
Yeah, if Joe does what Saquon Barkley did last year,
it'd be. They'd be
historic.
They'd be well on the way to. They'd be well on their way to an AFC Championship game, more than likely.
A bowl.
Yeah. So that was statistically. Stylistically, who's going to be the most explosive player stylistically? And to me, this one's Will Anderson. He's going to make the ooh and ah plays over the course of the season. Can't you just see him crunching a quarterback, forcing a fumble 3-4 times this year, just ragdolling an offensive lineman and just smashing a quarterback? To me, the most explosive stylistically is Will Anderson.
I'll still stick with Nico. I still
it's
think
fair.
Nico, stylistically, I think it's Nico because a lot of times I think he creates explosive plays that aren't there. I'm eating a hot dog. But I'm going to stick with Nico here. Nico is the explosive element of this offense.
Okay, I like that. All right, so you remember a couple of 4th of Julys ago, and unfortunately for this guy, he will always be associated with NFL players on the 4th of July when Jason Pierre-Paul had his incident.
Yeah, it was a big deal, man.
And you're a former fireworks stand, mogul.
Hey, if you're in the DF Dub and you're out there, go out and see Rex Nelson's Fireworks, Caddo Mills, or Rockwall. I got you covered. Just tell them you know me. You'll probably get at least 15% off, maybe 20.
There you go. So this part of the Texans can blow up the season, just like JPP's hand a couple of years ago. I mean, we all know what this is.
A lot of people would say the O-line. Is that what you're going to say?
That's what I'm going to say. They could blow up.
I don't think you can, because I think they're prepared for it. I think if you're prepared for an explosion and you got a lot of hoses around you, and maybe Nick Caley's kind of the hose, and you're kind of prepared for it, I don't think the O-line can blow up the season. I think Will Anderson's health can. Like I think they depend on for where they want to get, like the high ceiling. I think they're prepared. Like I don't think Nick Caley is preparing for having a good offensive line. I think he's preparing to like adjust around the strengths of the football team.
He's preparing to play around a bad O-line.
Yes. So I think Will Anderson's health is the number one most important thing, because I think that's the style of football that they're going to play.
Okay. I can see that. But it's a very solid answer, especially the way that you laid it out. So that's a good one. I would also say, maybe one of those cornerbacks' their health, but I don't think that necessarily would blow up the season if you had to play a few weeks without Stingley or Lassiter. So maybe not quite that. This matchup on the schedule has the potential for fireworks this season.
Texans Rams right off the top. Right off the top.
Okay.
It's going to be the most healthy version that you see of the Rams. It's going to be the last game that they have on CBS, which is the game that you're watching last. It's CJ Stroud versus Matthew Stafford, kind of his mentor. It's Nick Caley versus Sean McVay. I'm not sitting here saying that it's the end all be all, because a lot of times we've had some exciting like week 1 matchups with the Texans, 2020 with the Texans Chiefs, when you didn't think there would be a football season, it's COVID and they beat their ass. Texans Patriots, when they opened in 2018, after Deshaun Watson's injury in New England, the "it's not my job" type of vibe with BO. Actually, that was 2017. But 2018, when the Texans lost, I think Foreman fumbled the damn zone read. I think that week 1 this year is the most exciting matchup with the Texans and the Rams. I think that's number 1 for me.
It's a good answer. I went with fireworks of a different way, and it's another early season game. Week 3 in Jacksonville, I bet there's going to be a scrap on the field.
Because of Aziz?
Because of Aziz. And I don't know for sure a lot about this offensive line. But here's what I do know. If somebody takes a cheap shot at CJ Stroud in week 3 in Jacksonville, this O-line's fighting. Unlike last year's O-line when he was getting roughed up on the sideline in Green Bay and there wasn't an offensive lineman within 20 yards of it.
Is Tomlinson going to fight?
I bet you Laken Tomlinson fights. I bet you that Cam Robinson will scrap a little bit with those Jaguars players. I believe this is an offensive line that will fight for CJ Stroud. And it wouldn't shock me if one of those Jaguars players tried to take a little extra with CJ Stroud. And if one of those offensive linemen tried to get a little
testy, you want
with
margaritas? She's making us some margaritas.
Look at that.
Say margaritas. Yeah. But yeah, the offensive line, they need to scrap this year.
Yeah. So I think week 3, Jacksonville, fireworks. I think there could be a fight.
What's your biggest fireworks matchup? Okay, you suck. All right.
We got a ways to go before we're taking over the locker room.
She's drunk and she's tipsy.
Margaritas already got to the hard stuff pretty quick.
Already. We've been having these since 11 a.m. Me and her. We've been doing our thing.
There you go.
Hey, say Barbara Ann. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so I have she's acting a fool today. 4th of July. Shout out to everyone. Happy 4th of July. Cody, keep it going with this part of the season can blow the Texans season up.
Oh, we did that. We did this part of the Texans can blow up the season O-line, and we did Will Anderson's health.
Next one for me, and this is the top 5 most explosive. It's obviously the 4th of July. The top 5 most explosive Texans things. I'm going to start with number 1. You know what number 1 is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, based off our earlier conversations, it's
Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Nico Collins, 100%, the most explosive guy. You heard Bobby Slowick last year kind of hang his hat on, we're explosive. Well, you throw a sideways pass to Nico Collins and he does his thing like that. That's cool. Number 2, this is a team thing, and this is an entire position unit. The secondary. I think the secondary can make explosive plays. Now, I think they might give up some explosive plays, especially at the safety position. But I think the safety and the corners, like as far as their ability to make big plays, whether it be pick sixes, whether it be explosive interceptions, I think that's the second most explosive part of this team. And it's kind of boom or bust, but it kind of adds to what we think about this defense. I think that there will be 3-4 games this year where we look back and we say, damn, CJ Gardner-Johnson had a pick 6, or Kalen Bullock had an interception in the end zone and he stepped in front of the guy, or Derek Stingley locked this guy down and he had an interception, or Kamari Laster did that. I think the secondary is the second most explosive element of this squad.
I like that. That's a good one. And you think about game-changing plays. I mean, Kamari Lassiter had his 4 interceptions when you include the playoff one last year. Stingley, obviously impressive. You had CJ Gardner-Johnson's interception ability, and then Bullock as the ball hawk back there. Yeah, you definitely got some playmakers.
All right, the next explosive element of this team, number 3, the Iowa State dudes. I don't know what the explosiveness looks like when it comes to Knoll and Higgins, but I do think this is going to be a very explosive duo. How often is it going to happen? Don't know. Like I don't know how consistent it's going to be, but I do think we might have, and I don't know if this is a good area to live in, Stutes, where the majority of their plays, like the plays that they make, are explosive, where we look back and we say, man, he had 3 catches, but one of them was for a 65-yard touchdown. And the other 2 catches were, 4-yard gain and a 1-yard bubble screen or something like that. But I do think there's going to be an explosive element with them.
I totally agree with that, especially with Knoll, because he possesses speed that these other wide receivers just don't possess.
Yeah, and you also have Kirk in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Next one. This one might be controversial. Christian Harris.
Like his legs going to explode? That explosive? We are just so far apart on Christian Harris this year.
I'm really high on him. Can I give you a spoiler alert on this? On Christian Harris? This is how obnoxious I'm buying Christian Harris. This might make you leave the show.
Okay.
You might never talk to me again.
It's probably not true, but okay.
So I'm doing my top 10 Texans. Top 20 Texans.
And he's on the top 20?
He's number 10.
Jeez.
He's number 10.
Jeez.
I'm doing the top 20 Texans of 2025, and Christian Harris is number 10. Have I invested too much in penny stock?
This feels like that friend you have that's like, you got to buy crypto. You got to buy crypto. Like, what? Yeah. Don't buy stocks. Buy crypto. I'm like, okay.
I have Christian Harris as my 10th.
I'm not even calling him Christian Harris anymore. I'm calling him Crypto Harris. Crypto Harris.
I'm getting slaughtered on this, man. I'm getting slaughtered, and I agree.
You're either getting rich on this because you were right all along, or it's Crypto Harris.
The reality is, if I would have said this last year, no one would have said anything, right?
You're absolutely right about that.
So nothing that we actually saw on the field contributed to me to this being any dumber, except the fact that we saw on the field he wasn't there. So yeah, we can get.
He has a very valid excuse for the poor performance in that he wasn't healthy. He shouldn't have been on the field.
But his surroundings have improved, right? Like, would you say that the what's in front of him and what's behind him is better?
Correct.
The pressure on him has increased too, because this is year 4 and he has to put up or shut up.
Correct.
Last year, D'Amico Ryans was being weird about him, like at a bad level, like just almost like frustrating for me. And now D'Amico Ryans is sticking his chest out and saying he's ready to go for camp. Right?
Correct. He's ready to roll for camp.
So I'm buying. It might be a bad buy, but I'm buying. Tell me who's better. I know this wasn't the direction we're going to go. Tell me who's better. You want me to pull up my list?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I did not think that it was going to go this way.
Did you already do this on the locker room?
No, have not.
Oh, you're doing it. You're doing it in the coming days on the locker room.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So this is on the prep sheet right here. And we have the camp battles right here. But we have, I think Derek Stingley's the number 1 best player. You don't fight back on that. I think Will Anderson's number 2. I think Nico's 3, Daniil's 4, Mixon 5, Stroud 6, Lassiter 7, CJ Gardner-Johnson 8.
Okay.
Kirk 9. Because just based on what I've seen from like what they like about him and all that, like Kirk 9. And then I put Harris at 10. And then I put Bullock, Higgins, and Knoll 12, 13. Tell me what's so crazy. Like who should be there instead of Christian Harris at 10?
Azeez Ashar is better than Christian Harris is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Bullock's also better than Christian Harris.
No, he's not. No, he is not.
Yeah, he is.
He's more available, but he is not better.
Well, I mean, the guy's useless if he can't get on the field.
Yeah, I agree with that. But when he's on the field, and it's a big win. But when he's on the field, he's balling out.
It's just there's the risk of him not being available is so high that it's hard to put him as high as you have him.
Okay. But that's where I'm at. But it's not as crazy as it sounds like when you look at who he's competing with. Like, I think Christian Harris is a top 10 player on the Texans when healthy. All right. Do you dispute that? When healthy, do you think that it's crazy to say that Christian Harris is a top 10 player?
Is it crazy?
I think he's top 8 when healthy.
Is it crazy to say no, but he wouldn't be in my top 10 even if he was healthy?
Yeah, because you're factoring in that he might not be healthy.
No, I just said even if he was healthy, he still wouldn't be in my top 10.
Okay, who's ahead of him then?
Well, the 9 guys you have ahead of him right now would still all be ahead of him.
Okay.
And then Azeez is ahead of him.
Okay. So you put Azeez ahead of him.
Yes.
Okay. I'm buying this. I'm buying the Harris stock. Don't know why.
Crypto Harris.
And then the number 5 most explosive thing is Joe Mixon.
Yeah, Joe, he is the rushing attack. I know there's hope for Nick Chubb, and there's going to be somebody that thinks this is the year for Dameon Pierce, but Joe Mixon is the running attack. So it's going to be up to Joe Mixon and the offensive line to be able to run the football.
Yeah. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. What is the right way to eat a hot dog?
I like them with just cheese.
Like what kind of cheese?
You could, well, if you're making them at home, I usually put shredded cheese on them. But if you get them at like the stadium, you get the nacho cheese.
Okay, so that's what you're making at the house, just some cheese?
Yeah, I just put cheese
That's
on
one
mine.
of the worst answers, by the way, ever. Like, if I said this, I would be getting way more killed in the chat than you are right now. I feel like you're getting like
I'm not.
You're getting fat privilege right now because
you haven't even given the people the chance to react.
No, but just cheese on a hot dog.
I'm not sitting here acting like this is
that is trash.
I'm not acting like this is some just like amazing, like this is the way it should be done. That's just how I like it.
Just cheese.
Just cheese.
Okay.
Every now and then I'll put some spicy mustard in there. If there's chili, I'll put chili on it. I'm not cooking chili just to put it on my hot dog.
So no ketchup.
No, ketchup doesn't ever get near my hot dog.
No relish.
No, I don't like pickles, and I don't. That's basically pickles.
You don't like pickles?
I don't like pickles.
So you don't like jalapenos?
Not really. I'll put some sauerkraut on a dog though.
Well, I never knew you were this whack with the dogs.
I think you did. We've definitely had hot dogs before.
No, I don't think I've ever even looked at you having a hot dog. I've never had a hot dog with you.
I'm almost positive.
I'm pretty positive we haven't.
You've grilled hot dogs at your home when I'm there for football multiple times.
There hadn't been much attention paid to it.
Yeah, simple old dog.
Or else I would be a little bit weirded out if you're just throwing some cheese on there.
Just some cheese.
Yeah, I'd be really weirded out by that. On the chat, HDAV Traveler on the suit.
Swarm.
Afternoon, Landry, Cody, and friends. Happy 4th of July. Hashtag America. Yes, sir. To you, me, amigo. Dorino.
Good to see you.
Happy 4th to the hardest working bros in the Texans verse. Salute to you.
Thank you, Dorino.
ESG Soccer.
You ain't never hate. Swarm.
Let me know if you want me to set you up with some whitewater rafting or anything else in MV, my homeland, or WV, my homeland, content of Stoots in the helmet.
That whitewater rafting, some serious stuff, man.
I'm not into that, bro.
I did that once at like summer camp, and I was like,
for what?
I don't know.
You weren't whitewater rafting, bro. You were doing some corny ass like in the flat lake.
Nope, it was in Colorado.
Okay, and you were probably doing it on like the flat. Can you swim?
Yeah, I can swim better than you can.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
You can. Yeah, I can swim better than you can.
That's a lie.
I also float better than you can too.
But you can swim?
Yeah.
I did not know that about you. The hot dogs, all that, had no idea about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting here acting like it's the end all be all way to eat. That's just how I eat them.
Kyle Nance says, happy 4th. In DFW airport on a layover. That sucks, bro. So are you flying into Dallas or out of Dallas? I'm assuming he's flying out of Dallas.
I wonder if he's trying to get to somewhere and he's got stuck in Dallas.
Where would you tell him to go if he was stuck in a DFW airport? Where would you tell him to go?
I'd tell him to belly up to the closest bar and start drinking.
I tell him to go down Main Street.
Oh, if he gets like stuck in Dallas?
Yeah, because you're in Grapevine at DFW Airport. Tell him to take you to Esparza's and get a Sparzarita.
A Sparzarita. Okay. Okay.
Ooh, serious. Esparza's is still one of the Mexican restaurants that still like has Mexican pizza on the menu.
Ooh.
Yeah, goes in.
It's the first I've heard of this from you.
Work your way down to Will Hoyt's, the biker bar, and then work your way down to Chill. And then walk across the street to Tolbert's. You can make that round out there in downtown Grapevine.
I got a hunch he's probably just going to wait for his flight at the airport.
Yeah, just do that. Go to the bar.
This isn't a 9-hour layover in Vegas where you're like, let's go to the casino.
No. Yeah, the layover in Vegas, no, but yeah, shout out to you, Kyle. I'm just trying to help you out, my friend. Not the best advice that
Just like you spend 18 minutes at a Sparza, you get 2 margaritas, and then you go down the street.
Nah, for real though. As far as Aritas go in, bro.
Okay. Sparza.
You can get a picture of them too if you'd like.
Ooh, there you go.
Get a picture of them. But yeah, happy 4th of July to all. We appreciate y'all for rolling through.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Been a fun time. Cody's doing his thing with his shirt. I guess he's gonna make cheeseburgers. Are you making cheeseburgers now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go make cheeseburgers at Mama Suit's house.
Oh, so you're going back to Mama Stu's house and making cheeseburgers?
Yeah.
Is that her request or your request?
She said, I want to do burgers. It's okay.
Call her on speaker. Let me hear what she likes on her burger.
She puts mayonnaise and cheese.
Nah, just call her and act like you don't know and see if she gets mad at you, please. Just unsolicited. Do it for the people. Because they don't understand about your mom. Just unsolicited, just say, I'm trying to remember, how do you like your burgers? And she's gonna cuss at you.
No, she's not.
Okay. Just put her on speaker and say, I forgot. How do you like your burgers? Do it, dude.
Okay.
Don't be texting her right now and giving her a heads up.
I'm not. And you don't want me to tell her this is on stream. She's going to know it's on stream. She's going to know.
Yeah.
Really?
Remind me what you like on your burgers again.
What do you mean?
What do you just put on your cheeseburger?
You mean like seasoning?
No, like when you like on the bun and everything.
Oh, I usually put mayonnaise and I have cheese and we're gonna have bacon.
Okay.
Well, what do you want?
Tell her
No.
tell her you've quit mayonnaise. You don't want to have mayonnaise anymore. Tell her it's against your religion. Just do it. Come on.
No, I'm good. That's great. That sounds great, Mom.
Oh, you puss.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Come on, man. You can't even prank her.
She knows I like mayonnaise way more than she could. She'd never believe that.
What does my mom like on her burgers?
Feels like she's running it through the garden. Lettuce, tomato, onion, pickles.
Maybe, don't know. Yeah. Okay. How'd she not get annoyed by you?
Why would she get annoyed by me? She'd probably wonder what the hell's going on. She'll put 2 and 2 together that it was for the stream in a minute.
All right.
He just eats the it's 99.1 lean bison beef, and he just eats the patty. That's it. No cheese. Maybe with an avocado on it.
So I was for my night stream. I'm kind of going to touch on this Ross Tucker interview that he did with Jack Easterby, which I thought was pathetic. Sideline Sarah actually asked on the chat. She said, "What did you mean by if?" She quoted me. Good Lord, this is like journalism. She said, "If he starts getting Texans guests, I'm going to wonder with Ross Tucker." When I said that, I just like the way that this interview was done. It was done almost like a favor, because I know Ross Tucker talks to Seth like a lot, and that's not like a mystery. And I also know Ross Tucker thinks that Easterby is like a fraud and a con man and all that. And the way in which he conducted that interview, he said that he did some prep on it. He asked questions that had already been asked that had nothing to do with anything. And then he just kind of teed up Easterby to kind of say what he had going. And my whole thing is this, like the way in which it was conducted in a manner in which Ross Tucker did it almost as if it was like some sort of favor. And my question is, who was the favor to? So that's what I mean by that. Like, did Caserio ask him or something like that and say, hey, Jack, could you interview Jack and see what's going on? Like, because if Ross Tucker like has CJ Stroud next week or something like that, I'm gonna automatically think. I just don't know, like, what is the payoff for this? Because clearly it was either a favor or he's either the shittiest interviewer of all time, which might be possible, but it just didn't really serve like this space. So that's all I meant by that.
Well, Easterby's not taking an interview with somebody that's going to ask him hard questions.
Well, I know, but what's the point? Like, and especially if you're Ross and you go on in Houston, and he's had some strong opinions about Easterby, like real strong. And it's like, oh, okay, so are you just a grifter? Like, because Ross has become, for me, and I'm just being honest, he's become kind of a scroll through. I think he's a grifter. I think he's a businessman, like media type of guy. And I feel like this interview came across as that. So I really didn't respect it like in this space. So that's really all I meant by that. And you can distance yourself from that, but I mean, that's
what's there a distance?
No, I know
you have Jack Easterby on, you don't ask him hard questions. What's the use of having Jack Easterby?
Well, and you also go on Houston radio with Sean and Seth every week when I worked there, and you had a lot of strong opinions about Jack Easterby. I know you have ties to Nick Caserio. I know you and Seth are boys. Like, y'all take pictures like eating lunch all the time and stuff like that. I know you are tight, and then you have this interview and you don't even ask him a question. I think it's embarrassing, like, especially in this space. This is the bubble that I live in. I thought it was pathetic. So I'll probably talk a little bit more about it tonight, but that's all I meant by it. Anyway.
Yeah, you won't find a Ross Tucker defender here.
Anyway, subscribe, like, right along. Always remember when it comes to this stuff.
We got one more super chat before we go.
You ain't never hate. Swarm.
Manages a fireworks stand for 20 years, but won't go on the river with a guide.
No, I've been on the river with a guide. I'm saying Stoots wouldn't. Stoots can't swim.
That's not true.
He
So you're saying
swim.
if I go, you'll go whitewater rafting.
No, I'm just saying you can't swim, brother.
Well, that's just
you can't swim, brother.
That's not true.
I'm just saying at this point now. I love Seth stuff too. Damon, I love Seth stuff too. It's not a Seth thing. I'm just saying that Ross Tucker has enough information to where he could at least have like some sort of interview there. And they pinned it on like the podcast page. I've been on that podcast. So I'm not like just talking crap. I've been on the Ross Tucker podcast. You're pinning it up there and you didn't even like take it. You didn't even take it serious. So yeah. Anyway, subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, forgive Cody for not being able to swim. Forgive Cody for not liking good hot dogs, and forgive him for harassing his mom on the stream. And always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
You don't want a swim competition, bud. Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.